Lumpkin.
All right, there's more of that. That's Spose with motherfucker. I'm awesome. You gotta love that. If you don't, I'm not sure we can be friends anymore. All right, so good evening. Welcome to Sasquatch Shills, where Sasquatch finds people and talks to them, and y'all come and show up and watch it. I'm not 100% sure why that happens, but y'all seem to enjoy it. I definitely enjoy it, and I hope my guest enjoys it. So that's the general premise here. I've got DM Faas in backstage. We're going to have us a little chit chat about the different types of videos he does. Because one thing I like about his content is it's exceptionally eclectic. It goes all over the place. It's got a theme, but at the same time, it's all sorts of stuff. Um, Not unlike Shasta Valley Outdoors, he covers Second Amendment type stuff, gun reviews, gun equipment reviews. That type of stuff just in general, and it's pretty much all of it too, which is what's awesome to me. He also made one of my favoriteest shorts I've ever had the pleasure, the enjoyment of watching, and he sent it to me and he let me post it. It's on my channel if you want to go check it out. But I was almost certain it was going to get me one of them little strikerinos, but they let it slide, probably because I only had like 12 subs at the time or something. I don't know. That might have been why it happened. But without further ado, let's bring the man up here and we will have that discussion outright. Add you to the stream. Hey, brother, how you doing?
Doing good.
So,
Thanks for having me on.
Oh yeah, baby. That's kind of what we do. I've been trying to figure out how to cover your content for a minute. I am off center. There we go. That's better. Um, it's it's mostly streaming, and you do a few takeovers of other people's channels or time slots or something.
Yeah, if somebody can't do their chat, then I'll fill in just to hold their place.
Oh, that's pretty cool. I was a couple of weeks ago when I was having some issues with timing and whatnot. I was wondering about trying to find somebody to take my slot and to just put something up, doing something, and didn't really care. I was going to ask Tom from an abstract look, but I hadn't heard out of him since I bought his painting. He sent me the painting. That was the last email I got from him. I miss you. You complete me. No, I like this painting a lot. It's really cool. There's a video on his channel, an abstract look. There you can watch him paint this painting that I have, the original, right here. It's not a print, the actual painting. Anyway, but that's kind of what we do here is we shield pretty much everything that comes across the old desk here. I'm gonna try to fix your links over here right quick. And while I do that, why don't you tell everybody what your channel in general is about? Just the whole spiel.
In general, it's kind of would be considered a gun channel. I started it just to kind of promote Second Amendment and gun ownership. In Washington, we had a few years back, 1639 was passed. And I realized I wasn't into guns then. And I realized that for us in Washington, we had really good gun laws, all considered. But there was big changes coming. A lot of anti-gun, anti-Second Amendment stuff that looks like it was going to start. So I wanted to do something. So I started making videos and kind of fumbled my way through just being the average guy. In my description, I say I'm just a, average dad and gun owner. That you don't have to be tactical or anything like that to be a gun owner. And I figured if I be that average guy, then maybe other average people will look at me and think, well, if that jack off can do it, I can do it too. That's kind of where it started, and trying to do it in a way where it's interesting for me. Probably more than half of anything that I do is to make myself laugh or make my buddies laugh.
Oh yeah.
But I know I'm not changing the world, but if I can maybe affect one or two people, then I'm doing something.
No, that's respectable. I mean, I was born in a Second Amendment family. It was kind of part of the program growing up. You just had a gun, you had a firearm with you everywhere you went. And I'm in a rural spot in the middle of nowhere, Georgia, that no one's ever heard of unless you follow football. And even then, it's rare. Uh, but I've never had an issue open carrying here ever at all. In fact, the only time I was ever held up because of my gun was because they wanted to check it out and compare it to the M4 they had in the trunk of the Jeep. He pulled it out, laid it down, stripped them both down, took a look at them, was like, "Yeah, man, that's pretty cool." Put it back together, stuck it back in the back seat, and I went on. Yeah, it was a pretty good old time there for a minute. But that's the biggest issue I've had. Hey, JC Paris, welcome to the show. You familiar
Yeah,
with that? That one of yours or one of mine? Sometimes I can't even tell.
I think one of yours.
Okay. Um, we got about 6 people in here at the moment. Let's go see who got the gold other than me. I'm not going to give it to Kerry because he came in like 3 days ago and chatted in both chats, and I think that's cheating. But we got Judd who's got the gold. Russell Sperry has the silver, and Sweet Tea Audits has the bronze. Welcome to the show, everyone. George Ward's come in. We've got Jesse Paris, and that pretty well covers it. I'm actually very glad Judd showed up tonight. He's one of our super mods, and with the confusion with the two chats, I wasn't sure exactly whether he'd show up or not. It was kind of a toss-up thing. I wouldn't. If I got confused, I'd be like, "Oh my god, be more clear about everything, and I'll show up." I'm one of them assholes, but
Yeah, I had the wrong chat opened up, but all the comments were showing up.
on both sides.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. That explains my confusion why I could not separate the two into a particular link. I'm assuming that all the links went back to the same chat and that it was the same thing. But
Yeah.
I don't really understand what happened.
Because when we were in the pre-chat, I thought I had the right one open because I was seeing all the chat going on, and then it never went live.
Right. No, when I first started up over here, I noticed there were two chats and I was like, okay, well, I picked one and I set everything up and then I started up my StreamYard and I chatted in the StreamYard chat and then I chatted in my YouTube chat and then I looked at it and went, that's not right. That StreamYard does not go to that YouTube chat. That's not right. And I had to go back and switch everything up and I got it confused like 4 times, and I was literally working on it all the way up till the countdown went down. I was chewing right into it as hard as I could, but you can't do it until it starts going live. So that's the only way you can really tell. Um, but we got a couple of videos back here. These are largely just short videos that you've got doing different review type things. Uh, I've gone through and looked at almost all of them. They're kind of what you would expect as far as reviewing particular equipment and whatnot. I kind of want to get a super cut of you holding up all your products, like in like a time lapse and show your haircut change, like kind of like a chia pet growing. Probably I don't know, maybe something like that.
Yeah, some of that was the cough time where I couldn't get a haircut,
Right.
so it got a little shaggy.
It'd be great, dude. You can't talk to me about Shaggy, man. I haven't had a haircut in 2 years.
I can't stand having long hair. It drives me crazy. It makes me angry. I get really grumpy when my hair gets too long. I should be able to wake up and go about my day without touching my hair. If my hair gets messy, it's too long.
Yeah, I could dig it. I kind of have some issues with long hair, but the biggest issue I have is the twofold combination of hair being in everything I eat. And it's my hair, so I can't bitch about it. I probably put it in there by accident at some point, but it's my hair in everything I eat, and that drives me crazy. Because if it's not one of these, it's one of these. You
Yeah,
know,
that's when I trim my beard is when I start eating it. Then
yeah,
I'll trim it back a little bit.
I can't stand for it to poke into my lips. So anything that touches my lips, gotta go. I'll get in there with a pair of tiny, tiny scissors and cut every single hair that crawls back to my lips. I can't tolerate it.
That's what I do. I'll go around.
Right. Yeah. It's like shredded wheat without the flavor. It's terrible. No good. So what have we got right here? We got some ear protection.
Yep. Those are the ones I really like. I've got a couple pair that I take with me. They've got little microphones so you can hear.
Right.
But then as soon as there's a loud noise above, I forget what decibels, it cuts out that mic. So you can talk normally with each other. And then as soon as there's a shot, the mic cuts out and you've got your hearing protection.
Right.
So you're not shouting at each other while you're trying to talk about stuff.
Right. And the other one's there, just a standard set with a Bluetooth hook to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I get it. I went through most of like from 2002 to about 2006 with an old Juke phone in my pocket, and this is an early phone with MP3 capability, so I had my entire music library on it. The damn thing was like choked up; it had so much crap in it. Didn't work as a phone, but it was a great MP3 player. So I rode around on tractors, heavy equipment for almost 8 years, listening to every possible thing you could possibly imagine that came out on MP3 during the time period. And I used a set of ear muffs like that, like ear protection. I had a set of ear
Yeah.
protection like that, and that's what I did was I just popped the freaking earbud in there. And the cool part about that was there's a secondary feature on the Juke. It has a microphone and it's kind of directional. So even sitting with like a loud piece of equipment under you, you could pull that Juke out, stick it outside the window, and hear what they were saying because the mic was right next to them. Right. It was a handy little thing when you're sitting on top of a freaking excavator that could move the Empire State Building in a couple of buckets.
Yeah.
You can't hear nothing. Even when they're sitting right there in front of you, you're reading lips. So I would pull that out and just stick it up to their mouth, and they'd yell into it. And I could hear them. Genius. No, I love your. First of all, I like your consistency. The type of content that you produce is largely consistent across the past 3 years or so.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Danger Mouse. I love your Danger Mouse bit. That's awesome. What have I stumbled into here? I don't remember these.
It's just the end credits. That's
Oh, okay.
many younger days. I was just making end credits, so I grabbed some
Right.
pictures and threw them in there.
That's exactly how it's done. That's the proper way to do it. You do it once, and then you do it twice, then you do it 3 times, and eventually you get something together that you're willing to live with, and you run with it. The intro song was Spose by, or I'm Awesome by Spose. And the reason that I've started doing different intro songs for different people is because Cog finally got signed by somebody somewhere, and they're claiming everything he's ever done. So a lot of my older shows, I'm gonna have to go back and re-edit and take out that intro songs that were previously okay for me to use, and seems they're not okay for me to use anymore. He used to go in and release the claims, but it doesn't happen anymore. So if I can't monetize the actual show, what's the point in having a particular song? Especially if it monetizes straight to them, you know.
YouTube has a feature sometimes you can use where they'll cut out the music.
I'm gonna go look at it. I've tinkered with it a little bit, but
yeah, it's okay, but it takes a long time for it to render it.
yeah, I haven't, and you got to do it multiple times if there happens to be different parts in it. So the whole thing has to render, and then you got to go back and redo it, and the whole thing has to render again. And there's like, oh, one more, and the whole thing has to render again. I'll do it. I'll pull it down, edit it myself. There won't be a lick of music anywhere in the damn thing, and I'll put it back up. I just won't put it in Premiere. It'll be a re-upload.
Because there's been a couple chats where we've talked about music. So I played clips of music that we liked, and then of course most of them weren't a problem. You'd get where it just means you're not monetized, but I'm not monetized, so it's not a big deal. But there were the Beatles songs, I think, where it blocks your video
I was a
worldwide.
little concerned about that using Dr. Hook because I've heard Dr. Hook is blocked in some countries.
Yeah.
So
that's the reason I used it. So it would just pull that out, and then I wouldn't have to take the video down.
that's cool. Hey, Ron, welcome to the show. Good, I appreciate your effort. PDF, meant to shout you out when you came in. Sorry, I wasn't trying to hang you out to dry or nothing. Mama Noel, good to see you. American Justice of Texas, that's previous guest. She's got a pretty eclectic channel too. She does quotes, jokes, and auditing, First Amendment auditing. She also does a little bit of gun stuff and a little bit of cooking, a little bit of other stuff, just stuff. Um, and if nobody's familiar with Harry Nuts, go check him out. He doesn't do as many live streams as he used to, but and Car Thief News, he's real cool too. He basically does current events reactions, kind of like Carnal Conservative, but different, like totally different, talking to the phone kind of thing. But it's just different things to look at, man. I mean, that's kind of what the purpose of all of it is to try to break down the echo chambers that are created by the algorithm. I've got banners that say something like that. Where are they at? Hey, yeah, there it is. Hey, I gotta tell you, dude. That's decent. There's no way in hell I could do any type of a fast draw with my rig. It's just no freaking way. I've got a Makarov with the full wraparound holster. So if I decide to take that thing out, it's going to take an act of Congress. You know what I mean? You got to fold it out, double fold that flap, pull the little strap up, get it out of the little clamshell right there with the tips of your fingers, pull it out, take the safety off, drop back the hammer, and then you can shoot. There's no fast draw on that shit. It's impossible.
Well, that's all right. I think there are optimal ways to carry, but I'm just happy when people carry, no matter what, even if you don't carry loaded, carry bullets in one pocket, carry the slide in another pocket, and you're.
Welcome to the show, Toe. Good to see you.
Is,
And I don't know why, but people seem to think that sparkle scents are okay. I don't know why you would want to be with some tight pants vampire that sparkles in the sun. That just blows my mind. Team Jacob, all the way. Big old hunk of hairy man meat. That's what everybody needs. Yep. Definitely.
I haven't seen any of the movies.
My kids loved it, right? And I've got this movie poster over here, and when I have it set up in the right area, it does amazing things to the light. Right, the combination of the lights that I have set up reflecting off of it makes the background look all chocolatey. I don't know how to explain it, but when I moved stuff around to put the painting in, I never got around to actually setting up everything else, and I did, but it kept coming loose and falling, and it would stay up for like 20 minutes and then come back down. It was just a big hassle. I just took it down and set it to the side. I'll get it back up there eventually, but it's a Twilight poster from New Moon. Yeah, New Moon. And it's got them all in there. And it's just been in the background because I liked what it did to the light. And these guys came in and decided that they wanted to support some person from the show. And I went the other way because I'm that type of asshat. It's fine. I don't really care. I find it ironic and humorous. So what's up with the belt here?
I was doing a review on comparing a core belt and the next belt. They're leather belts and they have a liner to make them stiff. And they're both ratcheting belts, which I love the ratcheting. Okay. So it's instead of having 1-inch holes for your adjustment, they're like 1/4 inch. And you just pull it and there's a little ratchet, click, 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 click.
Yeah.
And you can get better fit.
Yeah, perfect fit. A
Yeah.
more perfect fit, I suppose. That's
So I was
cool.
just just
I got a money belt that I picked up a few years ago. Hey, Harry, welcome to the show. Change the name of your change the name of your channel a little bit, or are you a clone account, Mister Self Destruction? Good to see you. I had a money belt that I picked up with like a zipper pocket in it,
yeah.
just stack money in it, and I came across it at some roadside vendor that comes here during the parade every year, and they do these like some of them are very intricate, very well done, immaculate type things, but most of it's just a belt. You know, it's just a leather belt. Get one, don't get one. You can have stuff burned into it if you want. It's a cool little thing. I dig it. I really dig it. We got Freaky Geek in the house. He showed up. M Star Media is here. Welcome to the show. It's good to see you, babe. Let's see what else we got here. No, wrong one. Right. Okay. Um, maybe that is the same. Oh yeah, no, that's right. When I went back and picked that one, it ended up also being that was your very first video that we just watched, right?
Possibly, I don't remember. Yeah, you can tell it's an early one because I changed the name because I split the channel
Right.
because I split it into Barely Practical and DM Faas, and then the Barely Practical became where I did little projects and stuff that I enjoyed doing. Which that channel doesn't exist anymore. I deleted that one.
But
So
correct me if
yeah,
I'm wrong, this is the first upload to this channel, your earliest one that's still publicly available, correct?
I have to look. I don't
I'm
remember.
almost positive. I went looking for your earliest upload for this channel that's publicly available. It
I can
might
tell it's an early one. Yeah, but
I'm almost certain. But that triggers a particular part of the show. So I'm going to trigger the thing and let you hear this insanity because I found this stupid movie and it's got this bit in it that I love.
You know about cars? Yes, I'm a paleontologist.
Oh, it's okay. There's dynamite in this bag, too. I am a paleontologist.
I'm a paleontologist.
Paleontologists study really old stuff.
Like crackers.
I'm a YouTube paleontologist. And I go looking for the oldest video on a particular channel. We take a look at it. And, just generally discuss how you think your content has advanced since you uploaded your first video.
it's definitely gotten better because the first video should be the Walter PK380 review. I think that was the very first one I did
Oh, bother. Yeah, okay.
because I didn't have a clue what I was doing.
Right. Right. Okay, I got the right one now. Function. So that would be your first upload.
Yeah.
Super duper. You age like the Sphinx, bro. Like, you ain't changed a lick.
Well, I've got more gray.
Maybe a hair or three. Ain't much. That's what, 2.5 years ago?
Something like that. Yeah, the stupid thing is I was nervous. I'm filming myself and I'm nervous.
No, I get
And
it.
and I realized that there's no reason for me to be nervous because I'm the only one there. There's nobody else there with me. It was weird.
Yeah, it's a strange thing to try to talk into a camera. It don't always work out. And some things that look okay whenever you look at it and go, okay, well, that's acceptable. And you post it, suddenly it's not okay anymore. It doesn't look okay when you see it in public. It's a different thing. I really dug your short that you sent me with the Grinch's heart 3 sizes too
Oh.
large. Oh, that's freaking beautiful, dude. That's a work of art. Thank you so much. That's awesome. I love it. It's up on my channel if anybody wants to go see it. I'll throw a link in the description of the takedown tool. What are we taking down? Oh, the P30. Right.
Yeah. Yeah, with those, you can use a valve stem removal tool, the Schrader valve remover.
Oh, cool.
Well, I used to have one sitting here. I don't think I have it on my.
Yeah, it's not that critical.
But that way, you can buy a set for nothing and then keep one everywhere.
Have you seen the Kalashnikov movie?
No, somebody told me about it, but I haven't watched it.
All right, so I'm not usually in for like propaganda and whatnot, of any description. I don't really care what the flavor propaganda is. I don't go into it. Okay, but it's a decently made movie. It kind of iconizes Kalashnikov and maximizes his exposure in the story, but it's still a damn good watch. Okay, like you can sit down and watch it and you go, okay, well that's kind of silly, but at the same time, it's a good movie. It's decent. The voiceovers are decent. I think it's on Amazon Prime currently. If anybody's interested.
Well, that's like the Motorcycle Diaries. The movie came out, many years ago about Che Guevara, and it was supposed to be a really good, well done movie, but I didn't watch it because it's about Che Guevara.
It's propaganda. Yeah, well, I mean, if it was about Che, it would be propaganda because no one wants to talk about what actually happened.
Yeah, even I got into a discussion with somebody who idolized. Well, I don't know if he let's say idolized, but liked him. And I said, well, asked him, what about all the people? What about the millions of people he killed? And he goes, well, it's not about that. I said, well, it's exactly about that.
Yes, that's a direct byproduct of existence when you start talking about the types of things this man is famous for. That's what happens. 5-year plans, 10-year plans, 20-year plans, they never go to plan. And because you're stuck in the rut of the plan, you are inevitably stated to doom because everyone knows what you've got planned and they can all plan to thwart it or not as a group together, as individuals, however they want to. There's no, the only adjustments are reactionary. Reactionary adjustments cause unstable markets. Unstable markets cause hardship. Hardship leads to famine, death, and destruction. It's just inevitable. It's like dominoes falling over. Cool. I want to talk to you, Jesse. I will definitely talk to you. I will go looking for that as soon as the show is over, and we will discuss it. Whatever it is you want to discuss, we'll cover it. Super duper. Family don't profit, I'd watch. I don't think they do. I think it's entirely Russian propaganda. It seems kind of glossy, if you get what I'm saying. It looks a little too tasty, and they kind of depict the actual physical Type 1 Kalashnikov as being sent from God itself, which is what got me to giggling and kind of why, because there's this one point they're talking in Russian and the voiceover is pretty decent, but I swear I hear this one guy who keeps repeating more DACA, and I'm thinking, yeah, that's exactly what they need. More DACA, DACA, more DACA. That's all they need. They'll fix this whole thing right up. But the whole movie is about him not succeeding, which is funny to me. Cool, that didn't go on like it was supposed to. That didn't go on like it was supposed to. Awesome. Now we're back to this one over here. Right. And we're back to the belts. And what else is that? There's a knife, a belt. It's like a few belts. Some. I'm not sure what I'm looking at there. Can you tell?
Belt. That's I think that's the
Yeah. BDC Core Essential Belts and Blade Tech Belt. Right.
This one was a different belt made by Groove Life, and it's a little bit stretchy, and it doesn't make a good gun belt because it's so stretchy.
Right. Drops it.
Yeah, saggy. I mean, the quality of the belt was fine. It just, the commercials I had seen wasn't how it actually was. So I ended up giving it away. Did a contest and then let somebody else try it, see if it worked for them.
Ran across a prepper earlier on a live chat whose entire live stream was based around the idea that people keep sending him this stuff to try out, to do reviews on and whatnot. And he opened up like 2 rooms of his house is just stacked to the roof with all sorts of stuff, camping gear, knives, all kinds of prepper type stuff, MRE type things, stored food type things. He's like, there's no way I can deal with all this. I mean, most of it showed up in the past 2 months. If I did one a day, there's no way I would get through this in a year. And my response was have a giveaway. Start doing it once a week. Give away the stuff that's been there for too long and just rotate that stuff out, and you'll build your channel while you do it.
Yeah, I don't take I'm not monetized. Then this is all, I don't have any problem with people monetizing their channels.
Right.
For my channel, I didn't. I don't take sponsorships. I don't accept free products.
Yeah, I've noticed that you don't have a donation link and all that.
No, just the one problem with that is then I become beholden to them.
You'll notice there's no donation link on my channel anywhere.
And like I said, I don't have a problem with people doing that. That's just for me, because even if, it's a company that's great and says, I want your honest opinion, they send me something, I still have to do a video on that thing they sent me.
Right.
And I wanted the freedom of not having to worry about any of that.
I agree. I've had some conversations with a couple of my mods about how, they're like, you should really go ahead and set up a PayPal. I post everybody's PayPal that comes through as a guest. I post all of your different alternative links. We throw out everything we can find about you to try to promote your content on as many platforms as possible. But I only question anything about YouTube. It puts a limitation on how far I can go into your background and only the publicly available stuff. I mean, I've been following you for, I think, 2 years now, as my previous profile, and then now as Caucasian Sasquatch. I almost never chat. I don't know. Like I said, it's bad time for me. It's always me catching the tail end or just popping in at the very beginning, right before I go to sleep or right after I wake up. So just bad timing,
Yeah.
Which I imagine it's pretty early for you over there? What's that, like 4:30, 5 o'clock, something like that?
1 o'clock.
Okay, so you got these overnight takeovers you do on other channels.
Yeah.
How does that work?
Well, if somebody, somebody that I know pretty well, if they can't do their chat for whatever reason, then I'll just kind of hold down their time slot for them and put out a show. So the people that are used to seeing something at that time will have something to watch at that time.
Yeah, you can go hook up with their community. That's really cool, dude. That's a really neat thing, and you don't accept any kind of payment for any of it, which means you're directly volunteering your time towards the support of a specific channel. That's
yeah.
I like that.
It's fun to do too. Once you start doing live chats, they get addictive.
Right. I prefer live to recorded. I'm willing to do pre-recorded work. I haven't had to. I've had to use a little bit of pre-recorded work, which was okay because I had the illustrator to come in place of the channel creator and yada, yada, yada. I worked around it. But whenever possible, I try to get the channel creator in and that just eliminates a whole bunch of copyright bullshit from looking at your content and talking about it, because it's literally an open reaction from me and discussing with the creator itself. Otherwise, I have to go through getting like permissions and stuff. And sometimes that's not as easy as just,
Yeah.
yeah, sure, go ahead. And then it's claimed later, you know. But everything will be edited down after we come off of this. It'll be like 48 hours before I'll have access to it. They got to process it and take away my money or whatever. And then once they get all that done, I'll be able to download it, put an edit on it. I've got an after dark bit that we do where I drop the link in chat. And we all just sit around and bullshit about whatever happens to pop up. If you want to talk current events or religious doctrine or whatever, I don't really have a topic going in. It's kind of open season on that. Previous guests and future guests are preferred on that, but you're here currently. If you want to stick around, you can stick around. If not, that's up to you.
Okay.
One last thing, and I know this has been a pretty long spiel. I usually do all this at the beginning, but I was kind of distracted when it first popped up. I am a free speech advocate. YouTube is not a free speech platform. At any point in time throughout all of this, anyone starts any kind of trash that might be a bit much for the YouTube algorithm, you get douched out by the mods so fast it'll make your head spin. I won't even ask about it. It's something I'll look into in a month or two when I go and check out and see who's been blocked. And I decide to unblock some people. I just hope no one's among that list. I can't really. I agree with my mods. If they think you're being aggressive, you're out. That's just the way it is. I don't accept any amount of trolling on any of my guests for any amount of time at all. The very first attempt you make is the very last that will be seen. Just so everybody's perfectly clear. I know it sounds strange for a First Amendment advocate, but this isn't a First Amendment platform. It's just not. That's not my choice. That's YouTube. So we roll with it. We do with what we can. All right. What are your favorite channels? When you wake up in the morning and you pick up your phone or you go to your laptop, you sit down. There's these 4 or 5 channels that you jump on immediately. Who are they?
Well, I'll go through and watch, the live streams that I've missed because I work graveyard. So I'm I'm up when nobody else is, kind of thing, and I'm down when everybody else is up. But mostly gun stuff. The Yankee Marshal and Guns Barbecue, they both do live chats.
Mm-hmm. I've been in Guns and Barbecues live chats a few times back before I started Caucasian Sasquatch. I probably wasn't very nice over there, but it was a different persona.
And then sometimes I'll just look for, whatever.
Oh, that's pretty. Who's the pretty girl there? That's very pretty.
Yeah, that's G23's his Connecticut Valley black powder rifle, 50 caliber.
Nice. I have an old dueling pistol that's one from a set. My wife inherited it from her grandmother, and it was just, and the damnedest thing, it was just stuck in a bag in the closet back there with wad and shot and all the stuff you needed to shoot. And there's a matched pistol somewhere in the Boston area with some other descendant that it was given to before she died. So I've always wanted to get the two together and just see what they look like. Compare them. They're beautiful. A little 32 caliber muzzleloader. Beautiful little black powder dueling pistol. 10 paces at dawn, that kind of thing.
So if you find that person, do you have to duel them?
I don't know if it's cursed, man. This isn't Friday the 13th series. I mean, it's just. I got another weird thing that I found when we moved in. When I was cleaning out the shed, trying to get ready to put the hot tub in out there, I came across a box labeled flags, and in the box labeled flag was a Revolutionary War to Confederate to Civil War saber, not a saber, but a bayonet, one of the long bayonets, like sidearm for a horseman.
Yeah,
that kind of stuff. Right. I can get very little information on where it came from, why it's here, why it was in a box in the shed labeled flags. what it has to do with anything. The only information I've got about it is that apparently her father found it once long ago when he was a little kid under a house locally here downtown. Like out over there playing, he found it, a few other things, took all the stuff up there, and the old lady gave it to him. But his mama wouldn't let him keep it, so she put it up and he never saw it again. And when I moved in to this house, I found that and a few other weird things in some places. It was real interesting. There was an entire person's life just laid out in front of us when we moved in. It was very disturbing. It was real creepy. We still get these weird things that happen in the house. Everybody asks if it's haunted after they stay here for a while, and no, there's no way. No one's ever died in the house. There's never been anything like that. A single person built the house, lived in it until she died elsewhere. Uh, you know, so there's no weird paranormal possibility of all this. But get this: you come over to the house and you sleep on the couch, take your wallet out, lay it on the nightstand right there on the little coffee table. When you wake up, it may be sitting on the couch, it might be sitting on top of you, it might be sitting on the floor. I have no idea who does it, why it happens, or for what reason. I don't know if I'm sleepwalking, my wife is sleepwalking. There's nobody else here, so it's not like it's just it happens to me, it happens to her. Sometimes my keys are moved. I assume we do it and just don't remember it, but
Yeah.
uh, I'm really confused by the half yards of mayonnaise that turn up missing sometimes. That really blows my mind. I mean, I don't understand it. We occasionally lose what was it? Oh, salsa. Had somebody here that ate salsa, and he'd eat a little bit of salsa, put it in the refrigerator, and the next day it would be gone. You get more salsa. Next day it's gone. I'm like, you've got to be getting up in the middle of the night and eating them. He's like, nah, man, I got nothing to eat with, out of chips or whatever, Just weirdness. I don't understand what's causing it, but there it is.
I don't know.
It's weird, isn't it?
Drunken hijinks, but
I don't drink that much, man. I
yeah.
mean, I think last time I drank was my birthday, February 2nd. So, it's just a thing that happens. Pretty much everybody who stays here notices some weird shit and eventually asks me about it if they stay more than a couple of nights. I do sleepwalk, so it could be me, but
Do you have an attic? Is somebody living in your attic?
I do have an attic, but that damn thing, I doubt it. I'll check it out just in case, but there's no way in there that I know of. Crazy. I don't get it. But no, isn't that some weird stuff? Have somebody live in your house that you was unaware of? That'd
Yeah.
be weird. It'd be very weird. I mean, you hear about it all the time, but I'm sorry, riddled with holes, dude. As soon as I find you, all right, all right, all right. No, that's the wrong quote. When we do a Matthew McConaughey quote, we do the right quote. All right, all right, all right is okay. But I love high school girls. I keep getting older, but they just stay the same age. That's the proper Matthew McConaughey quote. There ain't no point in letting him off the hook. He said it out loud on film. That was his choice, not mine. All right, so what have you got planned for the future, man? What you got going on?
I don't know. I've kind of been leaning more into politics, which
Mm.
I kind of feel like I should be more involved.
I think you need more fishing in your life.
Yeah.
I mean, anytime somebody starts talking about politics, I suggest they go fishing. Because the cool thing about that is you can tell the fish anything you want.
Yeah, when we moved at our old house, there was a mill pond I used to go down to, and I'd go at the crack of dawn and go sit for a few hours, catch some fish, and sit quietly. No, I haven't gone since we moved.
Yeah, fishing is one of those things. Some people aren't suited for it. I got a buddy of mine named Russell. My man can't sit still to save his life. It's just not in his physical makeup. He cannot do it. So going fishing with him is kind of like, I mean, you'd do better with Dynamite. He's going to be standing on the dock doing jumping jacks. He's going to be bouncing up and down in the boat. He's going to be over there talking and chatting and using his cell phone and dropping stuff in the water. It's just the way he rolls, you know. But what's really fun is giving him a fishing pole and watching him get tangled in absolutely everything in arm's reach. He's like, I hate these things. They're horrible. YouTube channel, DM Faas. Like, comment, and subscribe. That's how that goes. All right, so you do, would you call them what? Takeovers, guest slots, guest hosting of other people's channels to hold down their time slots. You do almost all of this in the graveyard shift in the wee hours of the morning. So almost nobody on the continent actually knows about you.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny to me when I get into different gun circles. Sometimes they've heard your name, have no idea who you are, right? They've
Really?
never actually watched any of your content, but they're familiar with, yeah, we know DM, we've seen him. And I'm like, cool, I'm trying to talk to him or whatever. And they're like, yeah, it'd be great. We watch that. They never show up. It'd be like that sometimes. So where do you see your channel going in, say, 2 years, 3 years?
I'm not absolutely sure because I've been kind of thinking about it here in the last couple of weeks. Like I said, probably lean a little more into politics. I don't want to become a politic channel. You know, that's not what I started, but I want to feel I should be more involved in stuff. And then probably start using my community tab a little more to promote smaller channels. I love promoting smaller channels.
It's good stuff. It really is.
And those channels who might reach people that my channel won't reach.
Mm-hmm.
Then, I usually try and promote them, support them, and then get them up to 1,000 or so, and then start working on somebody else to help boost up. And
yeah, that's pretty cool. I kind of have a bit of a philosophy on the whole helping channels along thing. I like trying to find channels before they get to 500 so that whatever developments take place in the channel later, that could very easily become another show in and of itself that has nothing to do with the Sasquatch Shills bit. I'm waiting patiently for one of you guys to commit, I don't know, a triple homicide or something. And then we'll have a real good show. It'll be great. Right. I mean, if it's inevitable, some point in time, somebody's going to do something viral, and I will have had them on. It'd be great. It's going to be wonderful. It's just patience, matter of time. I mean, they're all crazy. Everybody's nuts. I'm nuts. You're nuts. We're all differently nuts. Speaking of nuts, hairy nuts. I love hairy nuts. My man smiles so much on his live streams that his lips stick to his teeth. He just can't stop it. Do you have any pocket channels that you've got in the background that you've got running? Like your Instagram, your alternate stuff? That is it different, or is it just the same videos on a different platform?
The Instagram is different. Honestly, the other ones are just kind of mirroring what I'm doing off of YouTube.
Right.
Partly just so maybe it'll reach somebody that's not on YouTube, and then also as a backup. So if YouTube decides we don't want to see you anymore,
right? Yeah,
the content is out there.
Yeah, it's run parallel for the most part, but the Instagram,
yeah.
How's it? Is it like more just photograph based, or I would assume less video based?
Yeah, it's mostly pictures, some memes.
Right. It's Instagram.
Yeah, and I like Instagram. It's kind of short and now, so you can go look at it, and you're not investing a lot of time in it. And
you also have a Discord, but we're not generally covering that for the moment. I mean, unless you want it linked.
It's all right.
All right. We got ATL in the house. He just showed up. American Justice of Texas, Toe for Life, Judd. Who else we got? Anybody? DJ Play Nice. Hey, man, email me. We can talk. It's kind of how that works. When I'm setting these shows up, I go through the content of the people that I'm interviewing, and I try to find little differences and little things that kind of point towards something that they're especially passionate about. And when looking at your channel, you're most passionate, at least in my opinion, to getting a message out there. If you could succinctly state that message, what would it be?
Oh, God, I don't know.
Okay, well, are you a Second Amendment absolutist? Is there no case where Second Amendment should be breached?
No, it's in the Constitution. I didn't used to be.
Shall not be infringed.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I was apathetic, and until, like I said, when 1639 in Washington State rolled around, I realized that we could lose it. We could lose it all.
Yeah. Just one vote away.
There's stuff that, like the bump stocks. I don't have a bump stock. I don't want one. I don't care. But people should be able to own them if they want them. It's a constitutional right. Your Second Amendment.
There you go. ATL says it real good. I'm having him on next Saturday. He's next Saturday's guest. He's been on the show before, but first time we did it, we were both babies. We didn't know what we was doing, and we totally screwed the pooch on it. I'm not even sure it's still up. It might be on the channel. But we're going to go back, take another swing at it, take a look at his newer content, stuff he's been doing the past few weeks. My man's been busy. He's been really busy. He's been all up in the grill over there in Atlanta, all up in the sheriff's office, all up in the district attorney's office, all over them people. I respect it. It's great. Okay, so that's 55 minutes. You've made a show. You got anything you want to tell these nice folks before we dip out?
Not really.
I mean, you pretty well covered it. We went over most everything that you do on your channel. We got through most of your political stuff that you like to cover. When you're talking political, let me go ahead and cover this one. Are you talking from a political left-right stance, or are you speaking from a political ideologue concept?
I will come at it more from I was hardwired born conservative.
Okay.
That's like popped out that way. That's the way I think. I have changed. I used to be neocon, and I have moved away from that.
That's of light. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, so my opinions have changed some especially as I've gotten older and understand more. But it is definitely from a conservative view. But even if someone who has the opposite opinion, I still believe you have the right to say your opinion. That's protected by the Constitution, whether I like it or not. If you want to, have a rally for whatever, for communism, I don't like communism. I don't support you. But as long as you're not burning stuff down, you have the right to.
Yeah, we can talk about anything you want to talk about. When people start making actions, at the very second Prometheus shows up at a protest, it's no longer a protest. It's officially a riot, bub.
So, and I don't hate, I don't hate somebody for having a different opinion. I can really, really dislike your opinion, or if you're an asshole, I can think you're an asshole.
Right.
But
yeah, I'm a total asshole. Just so that everybody's clear.
But in general, I don't hate people. I can dislike you, and I can hate what you do, but I honestly believe that most Americans want the same general things. We just can't agree on how to get there. And that's where the conflict is.
All right, we're gonna have to discuss this off YouTube behind the scenes so we can hammer some of that out, because I don't think I disagree with you. I just think I disagree with the motivations behind some people. I just don't believe they want the same thing. I think they have a totally different goal, and they're taking actions to include that goal in our future.
What like I said, the extremes, yes, I'll agree with you on that. But
Mhm.
I mean, most 9 to 5 general people,
Yes, people, real people.
yeah,
That's it. Real people want real things. Ideologues want ideology. Ideology is fiction by definition. You can't have it. Utopia doesn't exist. It can't be created. I
no.
don't think humans would accept it if it was. So there you go. All right. So I appreciate you coming up.
Hey, no
We
problem.
did a great show.
Thanks for having me on. I find you very interesting. You are a very interesting person. I enjoy watching it.
Certainly not normal. I can tell you that much for sure. I've never been accused of being normal, and I started the YouTube channel basically because I'm really good in small doses. As long as you can get out of my face after a little while, I won't bother you too much. So, like, after you're on the show, I'm not going to email you and badger your door down and stalk you and stuff like that, like some people do. That's not what I do. You might not hear from me again. You might. I'll be in chat. Definitely. But I'm going to set you backstage. I'm going to do a little play out right quick, and then we'll pop everything back up. I'll drop the link in, and we'll do the whole After Dark thing. You stick around for it. You can leave. It's up to you. You've done a show. You've done a fantastic job. I appreciate it. Excellent. So everybody tune in to DM Faas, Danger Mouse himself. Danger. Where's my buttons at? Let me do the thing. We'll take you down like this. All right. Thank you, everyone, for coming in and having a look-see at what I found this week. Pretty much every week, I go looking for another channel, maybe 2 or 3 times a week if I find enough of them. Mainly, I just want to try to break down the echo chambers that the YouTube algorithm is trying to force us into. And the only way I know to do that is to bring in people from various communities doing various other things. And that way they bring some of their people in with them. And later, whenever they search the channel, if they search their channel or you search my channel, you'll find his episode along with my channel or my episode along with his channel. Either way, it works for both of us. Thank you for coming by. But y'all know how this ends, right? Before we go, I've got one thing I'm going to play because I'm that type
Not
of
ever. No way. Now he's Johnny Hammersticks. Hammering away like he's freaking Tommy Noble. What the hell's he doing? Thinks he's got it going bossa nova. No way. No way. What is this garbage? What is this? Oh, I'm king of the trees. I'm the tree meister. I count on them. When sometimes I pride, I like the steelest. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. This guy's a faggot. This guy's some sort of faggot Indian in the teepee. Ooh, this guy thinks he's Captain Knots. Thinks he's Captain Tying Knots. When everyone needs some knots tied, they go to him. Bullshit. Bullshit. This woman's such a bitch. Thinks she's Miss Sand. Drinking out of cups. Being a bitch. I bet her fist. I bet her fedelisk. Barned. Patter's a little kid in the background fucking going crazy.
All right. There's a little bit more to that, but it's basically just a bit of insanity recorded. It's set to this lizard for some reason. But it's hilarious. It's called Drinking Out of Cups. And if you got a minute, go check it out. It's absolutely brilliant. I love it. And I'm out.
Fuck this shit, I'm out. Fuck this shit, I'm out. No thanks. Don't mind me. I'ma just grab my stuff and leave. Excuse me, please. Fuck this shit, I'm out. Nope. Fuck this shit, I'm out. Alright then. I don't know what the fuck just happened, but I don't really care. I'ma get the fuck up out of here. Fuck this shit, I'm out.